Here in Brookhaven, there are a lot of Gamepasses. You can see that there are cheap Gamepasses and even some that are really expensive, which in my opinion shows how diverse the options are. But I want to do something different today. Since there are so many Gamepasses here in Brookhaven, and not everyone has the money to pay for all of them, we're going to make a tier list of the best Gamepasses in Brookhaven. As you can see on the right, there are all the Gamepasses, absolutely all of them, like this one here in the middle, which is basically the VIP pass. I'm going to rank them from S to D, where S is the best of all, A is really good, and D is just horrible. But guys, something strange is happening up front. It looks like these two are suddenly fighting. One says the best game pass is called Face and it's simply the best. The other guy said, "No, you're lying. That's not true." Well, for those who don't know, Big is basically talking about the game pass that has a face. I just wanted to say that it's honestly one of the worst. In fact, there are 5, 10, 15 game passes here in Brookhaven, simply 15, which is a lot. There's a lot you have to spend to have everything here in Brookhaven. He asked which game pass is the best. Well, I'm going to show you now, buddy. But let's start with the first one on the tier list, which is exactly the vehicle upgrade. For those of you who don't know, this game pass has a lot of benefits. It's basically all about cars, and it's the very first one, the purple one, and more. And with it, you can get almost any car from the right side. This car is basically going to get a really good upgrade. You know? Well, kind of good. It really depends on what you consider good, right? Because with this, I can set the speed up to 75. Yes, that's literally all it does. If you just want a speed of around 75, it's really good. Now, if you want something faster, this game pass isn't really worth it. He even said, "Why is it so slow?" Well, it's really slow because this is the very first one, and there are actually 2 speed game passes, believe it or not. This one, which is the cheapest of all, costs 35 Robux. So I'm going to put this one in the B tier because it's pretty cheap, but it's not as good as it seems. Honestly, it's really simple. Now, this next one is more interesting. Guys, this one is the speed unlocked. It basically unlocks infinite speed for you. You can pick any car from the right. I can set it to Turbo 3 and speed 200, which is just insane. Now, come back here, you too, because things are about to get interesting. Man, I see that he's out of place. So guys, I'm going to get a very special chair for him. It's basically going to be a grandstand. He said there. He's not joking, right? I'm not. You'll stay back there because the car has no space. Yeah, I see he's not very happy. But guys, look at the speed of this thing. It's simply very fast. But guys, the best part of all this is that I can come exactly to this part. See, back here we have a giant ramp, and you don't know, there's a crazy bug you can do. He said there, "No, please don't." Guys, I'm going to leave the suspension higher, more or less like this. See there? Perfect. Now going back with everything, look at what's going to happen, guys. You can do a really insane bug of flying out, which I think didn't work too well with this car. Actually, it worked more than well, right? I still landed on my feet. He said there, "Yo, this is insane, but this game pass is really good overall, you know? So this is going to go straight to S, because it's a game pass that's almost mandatory to buy." Now the next one is pretty interesting, right? Simply the premium. For those who don't know, having premium you get a lot of stuff. On the right, there are cars with stars like the Lamborghini and also this other one up top. While they fell badly here, right? But I can get different cars here on the right, police cars, and much more with stars, which is pretty interesting. Up here there's also this star right here where you can basically change the tires, set the car on fire, add smoke, and much more. They're already coming here running. Guys, come back here. Much more than this is going to be important because premium does more than just this, okay? In fact, there are many benefits that I haven't shown you yet. Guys, I got to this part and next. I can show you on the right houses that have premium, like this star house and several others that are very interesting. And the premium houses are simply very special because they have a lot of secret stuff, and they're usually the best houses in the game, like this one. Also, here in the avatar, we have secret items, which basically have stars like this. Here, see, but I don't think that's very interesting anymore, okay? It was interesting back then, but nowadays it doesn't attract much attention. He sent this emoji and said he left. No, actually he's coming out of the bathroom. Yeah, it seems like he's using the bathroom in the middle of the video, you know? But guys, this game pass, I think you already know more or less what it does. There's a lot of stuff, so this is going straight to S. It's a perfect game pass. There's no mistake. Now, I'm not sure if I can say the same about music. Music? Look at the way I said it. Radio, for those who don't know, basically plays music. Up here, we have the radio button, and clicking on it brings up these things below, which are songs that are kind of bad, in a way. So, in my opinion, this game pass is simply the worst of all because you can't basically use ID since it was removed. In other words, it's just the worst game pass in the game. So, I'm going to put this one in D, simply the worst game pass in the game. And look, you have to try really hard to achieve this because not every game pass has the benefit of being the worst of all. Now, this one will divide opinions. He even said it's fire, thankfully, right? No, if he hadn't said it, I wouldn't even have noticed. But guys, for those who don't know, with this Game Pass, taking any house like this one, you can basically go up here and do some really crazy things. Specifically, here, we have the fire one, these 2 buttons that are free, but these 2 are paid. Now, clicking on the fire one, you can simply set the house on fire. And no, I'm not joking. I'm going to get out of here quickly before it gets worse. But as you can see, everything is on fire, even the stairs here, the bathroom in this part, you see, so your whole house starts to catch fire. But this Game Pass, although cheap, is pretty creepy. He's going up here to see this as well. But guys, this Game Pass is like it's duplicated. There are 2 of them here in Brookhaven, so I'm going to leave this one around C. And this one I'm talking about, the Disaster Pack. For those who don't know, this Game Pass literally does the same thing, but better. First, I'm going to remove the fire from the house. Exactly what you're seeing there. Perfect. Even he's impressed here and much more. But guys, this Game Pass I'm talking about has so much stuff you can do. You can put aliens, and also here on the 4th button, there's the fire, and clicking on it, it simply happens. Here, the same thing. Everything starts to catch fire in a bizarre way, and we have much more. There's this one. I'm going to activate all of them just to see roughly how this works. You know, even though I already know. Right, you can see that the situation is not very good. There's even a UFO on top. Quite bizarre. But the house is catching fire in a huge way. Even so, I'm going to get out of here to avoid problems. But other than the solar flare, this way you can see more or less how it is. There's a lot of stuff falling, and much more. Water coming out from this part and forming a puddle. Okay guys, I didn't know this, okay? This house really has something quite unique because most houses are a bit different, you know? But this one is a bit more detailed. It's like what happens in a natural disaster. You know, it's very well detailed. I didn't expect to see this. Wait, I'm going to go up again just to do something different. Guys, I'm going to turn off the weird effects here. Look, I'm going to remove the bugs, the earthquake, and a lot of stuff just to make an important test. Perfect. I've removed everything now. So there are basically the lighter effects, which aren't that light. You can see right here that water is coming out, so it flows down here and much more, even down below. But up here too, water is coming out from the toilet, even down here, and from there again. But what's really different, seriously, but guys, this Game Pass is definitely worth it. However, if you buy this Game Pass, you probably won't use it, so I'm going to put it around A. It's an interesting Game Pass that people don't use, but it's still good. Now, simply the horse, yeah, this one is definitely going to be a bit difficult because this Game Pass is bad and good at the same time. He even made a cowboy avatar just to do this. He even wrote their best Game Pass. Look, don't say it's the best, okay? But guys, here on the right I can get the horse, and up here, there's a button for the horse. You can do a lot of different things, like add textures, for example, flowers, which look pretty weird in a way. But there are some interesting ones like this or even this blue one. You know, actually, it's not that interesting. There's this one that looks more realistic. He said, use the correct avatar. Bro, okay, the correct avatar. Guys, I think he wants me to basically become a cowboy. Perfect. Let's go with that. Although it doesn't really look like it. It just looks like someone who tried to copy the cowboys and failed miserably. But it's already pretty good. And he said it looks bad. Alright guys, you know what? I'll use my special avatar here. Simply the pirate. I know it doesn't make much sense, but soon you'll understand why I chose this avatar. But guys, I can also change the horse's color, its mane, and even the part where I sit on the horse. See? You can make it look really different. But now, to rank this, it's 80 Robux for the Game Pass, so I'll leave it at B. It's an interesting Game Pass to have, but it's not really worth it because you probably won't use it. Now, simply the boats. For those who don't know, boats were recently added to the game. They're kind of like this, but this one is a free version of the boats, because there are Game Passes that are way better. But guys, you drive them like this, and you can upgrade it and much more. And one crazy thing you can do is, by lowering this part and reversing, you can do a really insane drift here in Roblox. Look, I'm doing a boat drift, and much more, which doesn't make any sense. The Drift King is here, but with a boat. But yeah, this is the free boat, as you can see. Scrolling down a bit more, we have the boat Game Passes, which are simply huge. Well, you can clearly see they are much better than the others because here we have a yacht. There's also a giant shark. Yes, literally a giant shark. He's even impressed and said, "This is cool. It's really awesome." Here's a tip. If you ever see a shark in Brookhaven, know that it's actually a player. But we also have this yacht here, which, well, it has a lot of features and much more, and you can drive it. This is a really interesting Game Pass that's worth buying. So, my rating for this is basically S, but you're probably not going to use it much. Maybe once a day, so I'll move it from S to A. I think that's a bit fairer in a way. Now we simply have the land, and for those who don't know, this basically involves the houses in Brookhaven, because we have plots like this one that are normal plots, which anyone can get for free. Now looking a bit more to the side, we have these areas that are more interesting, where anyone would want to have a house in this part, and when you place a house here, it looks really eye-catching. It's definitely worth it, so this Game Pass is one of the best in the game, no doubt. So, I'm going to put it in the S tier. It's a Game Pass that's really worth buying. Now, I don't know if I can say the same about this next one. This one weighs on me because, if you don't know, this Game Pass doesn't do much. But guys, the player said in the chat, where are you? You just teleported. Guys, I'm basically near the mountain, you know? But here on the right, we have the faces, and we've got some pretty nice ones, like the blue bubblegum. But there are others here that are just plain ugly. As you can see, it seems like I'm just a really weird person. This one is one of the best, just to be clear, because as you go up, you'll encounter even more bizarre things. Look at this eye. It's really ugly and strange. Wow, what is that? This one really outdid itself. Seriously. Big said, is this rare? No, this is just ugly. It's not pretty. But guys, scrolling down a bit more, there are a lot of bizarre things here, like this one. How can someone make a nice avatar using this face? So, this Game Pass is quite expensive, 200 Robux. So, I'm going to put it in D. I should create a rank below D just to place this Game Pass there because it's so bad. You know, now this next one is actually quite interesting. With this Game Pass, for those who don't know, I get cars like this one, which are incredibly fast. And it's not just that. There's much more added here, everything in Brookhaven. On the right, you can see there are many cars basically locked. And all of these are from this Game Pass, like this one, which is a Formula 1 car, and he's dancing out of nowhere. Alright, just dancing like crazy. But guys, there are many interesting cars you can get here, and the best ones in the game are from this Game Pass. So, this one is definitely an S tier, the best Game Pass, or at least one of the best. Now, this one is a very good Game Pass, but at the same time somewhat lacking. It's about the apartments, because for those who don't know, coming here, right to this part of Roblox, you can get any apartment you want. However, those with diamonds are not available because they are Game Pass exclusive. So, even though it's quite interesting, look at this duplex up here. It's a Game Pass one, so it makes the one below look plain, because this one is very simple compared to the Game Pass one. And here, there's a lot you can do that's quite interesting, like swimming, sleeping in various rooms, or even partying. And all those on the right with diamonds are really unique. He says this one is the worst. Actually, no, I disagree because, for those who don't know, coming here we have this area you can climb up to, and right here, we have a really great pool. There's also another one that's pretty bad, but the one I'm selecting is definitely the best of all, so this Game Pass is going to S tier. However, since it's a bit simpler and not many people use it after buying it, I'll put it in A. I think that's a very fair rank for this Game Pass. Now this one, well, it's the most different of all because it's very expensive. Right? Actually, the price has changed. This used to be much more expensive. It was 800 Robux. I'm sure they just changed it. I ended up leaving an old photo showing that this Game Pass, the green one, used to cost 750. Now it's more expensive because this Game Pass is very bad. I can get various free themes here on the right, but those with brushes are basically expensive. Actually pay. It ends up looking something like this. But there's a problem. It's only for you that it looks like this. Even he agreed and said this is the worst Game Pass. So that's true. But there are some other interesting ones here. Guys, this Japan one, which is basically paid, is quite interesting, but only for you. There's also this one with horses, which adds various things involving horses. But again, this is only for you. Other people can't see it. This makes the Game Pass somewhat useless. We also have some effects here on the right that are free, like racing effects or maybe even tree effects that look really cool, making it seem like I'm in a completely different game because it fills the background with trees. But again, this is only for you. However, it's free, so it's worth it. But the Game Pass itself isn't worth it because the best effects are also free and only visible to you. So, I'll place this in B tier. Now, guys, the State Game Pass is interesting. With this one, I can get houses in this area. And there are several interesting ones on the right, like the President's house, a hotel, a military base, and many others that are really worth it. He said this is the worst Game Pass of all. I said it wasn't. It doesn't even make sense for him to say that. He said you're a noob. Is that why you think this Game Pass is the best? No, it's actually good. I'll ban him from my house because what he's saying doesn't make sense. But we have houses like this one that are quite interesting in their own way, as well as others on the right like the beach and various others that are also added here every month. Actually, not every month, but from time to time. But now that I've changed houses, he's only going to be able to come back here if he comes here again. He'll be banned because what he said was bizarre. In 3, 2, 1, and ban. Guys, it's simply the end for him, and he won't be coming back. This house, for those who don't know, was recently released in the last update, so it's a Game Pass that gets updated from time to time. So, it's definitely worth it, so I'll place this Game Pass at the top. Now comes the new Brookhaven Game Pass called VIP. This one is very strange because it was released recently but has and doesn't have many benefits at the same time. He says sorry. It seems like he's a bit sad, apologizing. I said it's okay. Just follow me because I have a very important Game Pass to show you. On the right, there are several cars, VIP, free unlocked items, and we also have a new category for VIPs with many different cars like Halloween eggs and also from the Roblox event The Hunt. It's clear that these cars are quite different, like the Batman car. It's pretty insane. right? There's also another one with a really ugly matchbox. Look at how this car is. It's simply the worst car of all, if not one of the worst. All the cars added in events and later removed end up in VIP because it's quite interesting, but not this one obviously. We also have secret particles in the avatar that you can use here, which is pretty interesting. He says you farted. I didn't. Get out of here. But guys, there are several other top ones like star, music, and fire particles, which are definitely what people use the most. We also have names that you can put, and down here, we have crowns that, when clicked, change the color of the name above. We have this one, then this one that changes really quickly, and lastly, this one that changes more slowly, which is pretty interesting. But that's not all. There are props that are basically paid, like this spoiler you see. It's simply paid, and you can only get it if you have the Game Pass. But overall, VIP doesn't have many benefits, and if you want to add me on Roblox, just click the Be a Member button to add me on Roblox.